Hi, so welcome to this episode of History Hunters. I have a trivia question for you. What was the middle name of Franklin Roosevelt, the President of the United States? Give up? Well, it was Delano, or Delano, spelled the same way. We're in Delano, California, here at the North Kern District Cemetery. And I dropped by here because I wanted to check out the grave of Dack Rambo, famous TV actor who played in a number of soap operas. And he was also J.R. Ewing's cousin in the popular CBS TV series Dallas. He also appeared with Walter Brennan as the grandson of Walter Brennan in the TV series from the 1960s called The Guns of Will Sonnet. He's actually buried here in the cemetery because he grew up not very far from here. He's buried right next to his twin brother, who died at a very young age in a car accident. I've been to the cemetery before, couldn't find his grave, but I have instructions and I found his grave. Now, interestingly, this cemetery is actually split in two by Albany Road. There's one half over here, and then one half over here to the west. This western part is where Dack Rambo and his family are buried. His parents are buried here as well. There he is, Norman Dack Rambo. He was born November 13th, 1941. He died March 21st of 1994. Beloved son, brother, and best friend. Dack died of AIDS, or complications from AIDS. He was one of the first actors who came out of the closet in Hollywood. He was actually named Norman. His brother was named Orman, or Dirk Rambo. He was also an actor. As you can see, they were born the same day, of November 13th, 1941. Born in Earlimart, a dusty little town not very far from here in Kern County. They grew up on a farm in Earlimart where they did chores, they milked cows, they worked in the fields after school and during the summer. You couldn't really tell them apart except for the fact that Dack had a mole on his face. Dirk died in the traffic accident. It also says beloved son and brother. The brothers are buried right here together. It said that both brothers kind of made fun of the fact that their parents named them Orman and Norman. They hated the names, so they went with the better sounding Dirk and Dack, and I think it's a pretty catchy name. Dirk and Dack graduated together from Delano High School in 1959. In just a few short years, the high school took center stage in the farm workers' union struggle. In 1966, inside the high school auditorium familiar to the Rambo brothers, the U.S. Senate Subcommittee on Migratory Labor held hearings looking into the unconstitutional practice of arresting striking laborers in Delano grape vineyards. The arrests or threats of arrest were based on the charge of unlawful assembly. At a packed hearing inside the Delano High School auditorium, Senator Robert Kennedy famously responded to the sheriff's defense of arrests by suggesting that the sheriff and the district attorney read the Constitution of the United States. Kennedy became the first national political figure to embrace Cesar Chavez and the grape strikers. Now, how did these two Valley boys become popular stars? Well, in 1962, they spent some time with their aunt in Los Angeles. They went to church. And the actress Loretta Young saw both of them and was pretty impressed with their looks, both good-looking guys, and suggested that they get into pictures and TV. They were actually given a part on Loretta Young's TV show, and that was the start of their Hollywood career. Although I must say, Dirk did not live long enough to star in a number of movies and TV shows. He had a very short career.
Blub, blub, blub. Oh. You in the mirror?
No, I was admiring that bottle of nose drops.
Oh, sorry.
Who are you, Paul?
Peter.
Well, that's what I thought.
Paul.
Look, fellas, can't we make a deal? Some sort of a secret clue, like an X on one of your noses so I don't play ring around the rosy every time we meet?
I think I need a shave.
Yeah, that's it. One of you grew a beard.
Are you kidding? I got 7 whiskers. Paul's only got 5. I've got 7. I found 2 new ones last week. Oh, you laughing, scratching brute, you. Get off it.
Dack told the Washington Post one time that he went from the cotton fields to the soundstage. Dirk landed some roles on The Virginian and a 1967 episode of Dragnet. In 1961, the brothers teamed up in a recording studio to record some of Glenn Campbell's first songs that he wrote. Tragically, he was involved in a head-on car crash in Hollywood on February 5th, 1967, and he died as a result of the burns that he received. The crash was blamed on a drunk driver. After Dirk passed away, Dack landed the role of Jeff Sonnet in the Guns of Will Sonnet, playing the grandson of Walter Brennan. Dack Rambo appeared in 50 episodes of The Guns of Will Sonnet from 1967 and 1969. The ABC TV show starred veteran character actor Walter Brennan as Will Sonnet and Dack Rambo as his grandson Jeff, who were searching for Will's son James. Disgusted with his father's absence due to his army business, James had disappeared at the age of 17, and a few years later a baby boy was delivered to Will, with a letter identifying him as James' son and explaining that his mother had died in childbirth. The letter also stated that James was giving his father, Walter Brennan, a second chance at being a parent. Will was grateful for the opportunity and did his best to steer his grandson in the right direction.
We searched for a man named Jim Sonnet. And the legends folks tell may be true. Most call him gunman and killer. He's my son, who I hardly knew. I raised Jim's boy from the cradle, till the day he said to me, I have to go find my father. And I reckoned that's how it should be. So we ride, Jim's boy and me.
Some of you may have even remembered that the Guns of Will Sonnet TV show had their own lunch pail. Of course, he had been in a number of TV shows back in the day, a number of guest appearances, so he's still a very recognizable guy. But when I came up here, I had to kick the dirt off of his tombstone here. It was covering up the Rambo part. Now, if you'll remember, Gunsmoke had a spin-off show called Dirty Sally. It was played by Jeanette Nolan. Dack Rambo also had a part in that TV series as well. Dack Rambo also appeared in 3 episodes of Gunsmoke. Dack appeared on Marcus Welby, MD, The Rookies, Wonder Woman, and Charlie's Angels. In 1977, he appeared in 6 episodes of Fantasy Island, 3 episodes of The Love Boat, 1 with the Playboy playmate Barbie Benton, 3 episodes of Hotel, 3 episodes of Murder, She Wrote, and 7 episodes of the daytime soap opera All My Children. From 1985 to 1987, Dack Rambo appeared in 57 episodes of Dallas. You may have been the one that was hooked on watching that night that everybody was going to find out who shot JR.
You've got to stop playing so fast and loose with other people's lives.
Well, Bobby, I gained a little time. A time that we wouldn't have needed, by the way, if you hadn't let Jack slip through your fingers.
Well, he didn't have much of a choice, JR.
Well, if you're not a sight for sore eyes.
Dack was sexually active as a bisexual man, and while working on the soap opera Another World, he learned that he was infected with HIV in August of 1991. He quit the series and retired from acting. He told reporters that going public with this disease was somewhat of freedom to him because it wasn't carrying around his secret anymore. He died here in Delano at the Delano Regional Medical Center on the afternoon of March 21st, 1994. My grandmother was always one to watch soap operas, and she always talked about this Dack Rambo that passing away, and I tried to get her to describe him, and I could not figure it out. And then one day I finally looked him up, and I found out who he was, and I recognized him. Now, I would imagine that a Hollywood celebrity like Dack Rambo would have attracted some celebrity attendance to his funeral. I'm not sure if they had actually come here. I know that Morgan Fairchild was one of the people that he was friends with. In the early 1980s, he played the role of Steve Jacoby in All My Children, that TV soap opera. And I never watched soap operas, nor could I understand how anybody could get into them, but I know that they're popular with a lot of women, so don't want to hear from you women who watch soap operas. But it's just not a guy thing.
I just don't understand why you are in such an uproar. I mean, what would be so bad about publishing one little interview?
Because you could damage yourself.
Excuse me, please. I'll just go on upstairs.
Because you could damage yourself for prospective jurors. You have no idea, no guarantee what that interview might put you in a bad light.
Jurors are supposed to have an open mind.
Oh, come on, be realistic. People don't live in a vacuum.
At the end of his life, Dack Rambo was quoted as saying, "Somebody once asked me, "Are you sorry about anything?" And I said, "No. What is. Actually, I'm grateful for all those experiences. I wouldn't trade them. I had a varied background, and you pay the price for that, I guess." I read a piece written by friend Ronnie Pierce, who said he and Dack prayed every day for him, his family, friends, and fans. He said that Dack's love for his fans was authentic, genuine, and eternal. Dack was asked, "How would you like to be remembered?" And he replied, "Truly, I would like to be remembered as a great man of God." Dack and Ronnie became co-evangelists, appearing in churches and on talk shows and Christian networks, sharing his faith, hope, and love for all humanity. His message was that God is not mad at you, and that prayers change things. Together they formed the Dack Rambo Healing Foundation, an outreach to those battling the many challenges that Dack himself battled and conquered through prayer. Dack and Dirk's parents, William and Bee Rambo, are both buried in the cemetery. He died in 1985 and she in 2002. Their sister Beverly Jean Rambo died in January of this year, 2021, and was also laid to rest in this cemetery. An older brother is also at rest here. It's actually starting to rain, but I thought what I would do is place our History Hunters card on this grave. So I want to thank you for watching this episode of History Hunters. Thanks for remembering Dack and Dirk Rambo with me. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel, give us a like and a thumbs up. We'd always appreciate hearing what you thought about this episode of History Hunters. Thanks.